Hello. I want to welcome you to another exciting episode of Teens Reality. I am your lovely host, Pastor Udo Uwobi, and on today's episode, we are going to be taking questions. It's been quite a while we did that. We're going to be looking at questions that have come in during this ongoing series, Parental Supervision. A lot of people have expressed their opinions of what they have learned, their ongoing reality. But for today, we're just going to be addressing some specific questions. As you listen, one thing is certain. I am particularly hopeful that it's going to offer insights. And to those of you who may not be able to address your questions openly here, we'll still respond to you in private. But please take out time to listen to what I have to say today and ensure that you try putting it into practice. All right, we're going on to our first question. It says, hi, I'm 17, almost 18, and my parents still want me home by 7 p.m. every day. And it has been that way for years. Wow. Most of my friends have 11 p.m. or midnight curfews. I'm totally the odd one. Yeah, I know you say it's for my good, but I feel weird when I keep missing out on the best parties and cool stuff to do with them. I really need to know, is there a way to get my parents to cut me some slack? Alright, that is very, very interesting. If you remember on our series about curfews, we talked about the fact that curfews now are made dependent on the parents decide, first of all, and that as it is generally encouraged that as the teenager grows older, the curfew timing is extended. So that where they had to come home earlier, another additional maybe 30 minutes, 1 hour can be added to the time when they are allowed to be outside the house before they have to be indoors. But now you're saying that you're almost 18 and your curfew is still 7 p.m. Okay, first things first, I'm assuming that you're going to go into like university or college for your higher education, and you've always lived at home with your parents. Now, I'm going to be a bit concerned now and ask this and hope that maybe you know how to bring this up with your parents. Number one, you're going to let them know, because are you planning to go to a college that is close to home, or you're going outside your state, or even outside the country to another place? If you are, then I'll suggest they increase the curfew. First of all, that is my suggestion. They increase it. Why? Number one, if you're going somewhere farther than where they can have close monitoring of you, it's important that they begin to see how you respond to staying outside later and know how you're going to manage yourself and be responsible to it. So you can bring that up as a point to them. Okay, I'm going to go into the university soon enough, and I need to have, you understand, I want to be able to observe what I do when I'm outside at this particular point of service. They know. If, for example, now they don't know that you can stay out later, when you get to the university and they perhaps call you at the time when they feel you should have been home and they're not able to reach you, it can cause unnecessary fear and anxiety and make them begin to react in ways that they might become scared about. So let your mom know that, or your dad. And that thing I want you to consider is, when they chose that particular timing, what were the factors they took into consideration? Are you living in a particularly dangerous place where being home at 7 is actually ideal for your safety, even now at this age of 17? If it's being home at this particular time is still ideal, then you can also consider the fact that, okay, they're still looking out for your well-being. If also it's just about going to the parties, please, what kind of parties are they? Some parties can end your life prematurely. Don't go for the one that, okay, you've not gone for years, you finally now choose to go to the particular one that you never return from. We saw in one of our videos about a 13-year-old girl who snuck out of home, Savannah, and never came back. She died that night. It was all over. I don't want that to happen, and I'm certain that your parents don't want that to happen to you also. So please find out, first of all, are you living in an area that is very, very dangerous and has maybe stated your parents setting that particular time? Also, I want to ask, are you the only child at home? Might it be that you have younger siblings, that your parents are depending on you to assist in like babysitting or taking care of? Perhaps they want busy jobs and they need you, and perhaps truly so far you've shown the kind of responsibility and maturity that they feel more at peace leaving you in charge of the home. If that is one of the reasons, I want you to also consider the fact that, okay, your mom and your dad actually trust you enough to handle the younger ones at home and are certain that they are going to find them in the same manner that they left them when they left the house in the morning, you understand, and dispatched everyone to school. So it might be that they are looking to you to assist in other things at home, and that your coming home is actually quite vital to ensure that the home continues to function as well as it is currently functioning. Also, another thing you need to consider: do you have a car? What is the financial situation of your family? Might it be that in going to some of those places or attending some of those parties, your parents feel like maybe they're not able to give you every single thing that you need to be there, and they don't want to go there feeling like as if, okay, you are lower than the standard that has already been set there. There are a lot of different things to consider, and each of these things might not seem glaring to you until you begin to pay particular attention to each and every one. Because now your question is asking, is there any way to get your parents to cut you some slack? So I'm getting you to see from both their perspective and also from your own perspective the kind of person you want to be. Because another thing you want to consider is this: if I do go for those parties, what is my plan when I go for those parties? And if I do attend those parties, am I really going to want to come back by that 11 p.m. or will I want to stay till the party rounds up at whenever it does round up? If I allow myself to start going to those parties, can I control myself? Because many times you don't know what your limits are on a particular matter until you test yourself. You may feel like, okay, I can deal with whatever comes my way. But ultimately, when it arises, you find out that it was too big a challenge for you to deal with in the first place. So I feel a lot has been said. So take out time and look at these various points suggested, and understand something. I don't think your parents necessarily hate you, or if they are too controlling. We took out time to discuss different types of parenting styles. You know, some parents are very controlling, domineering. They don't even want to listen at all. If they are those kind of parents, you do not want to come at them also in a kind of violent manner. No. You must speak calmly and speak rationally with them. Such people need to listen to your logical and well-placed arguments on why you should be given more time outside the home, or why your curfew time should be increased or extended. So you need to be careful. What kind of parents do you have to? What kind of style have they used? Parenting style have they used in raising you so far? All right, that is that. I hope I've been able to answer that question in a way that makes you know what next to do. We'll be moving on to the next question now. Okay, it says, I am so tired of hearing my parents nag every day. They complain literally about everything I do, and then they fight each other too. Nothing I do pleases them or is up to their standards. When they are done fighting, they both turn on me and then expect me to listen. Well, I am not having any of it. I want out of this house and where I can have some peace. Perhaps if I'm even gone, they may not notice. But really, I'm scared behind all the anger and pain I feel. Wow, that's a lot. That's a lot to pack in there. Okay, so it's obvious from what you're saying that your parents fight a lot. They fight a lot, and when they're done, they also fight with you. And I think they are now united in that front. Now, when you say nothing you do ever comes up to their standard, I want to understand, is it in terms of your academics? Or is there another thing you're currently involved in that you feel like, okay, you're not meeting up to their expectations? Whatever it may be, first things first, I cannot correctly ascertain how toxic that environment is. In fact, we're going to do a series on that. Some kind of toxic environment that can happen in homes, that can crop up in homes, you understand, due to either the way the parents deal with issues and stuff like that. I don't know how toxic the home has become so far, but do not be in a hurry to leave yet without understanding what is happening. It might be, I want to ask first of all, has this been something that just started recently, and has now become pronounced, or has it been going on for a very long time? And this is the way you've always known your parents to be. They've been fighting for years, they've been nagging at you for years, and you're just tired. Is this something recent, or is this something that's been going on for years? Something you have to consider. Now, number one, I said, don't be in a rush to leave. Number two, could it be that they're having problems in their marriage and they're just projecting onto you? So that when they look at you now, it's not just about the fact that you did something wrong or you're not meeting up to their expectations. Instead, they are dealing with what they feel are their own failings or inadequacies and are now being projected on you. You might not be aware of this, but certain parents are still like children. Some are still very immature, and in fact, some can be more childish than their teenagers. They can be more prone to tantrums than their teenagers. In fact, I've seen literal stories, as in head stories, watched videos where sometimes it is the teenager that manages the home for the parents, and the parents just like assume and expect the teenagers to do everything. They have come to expect it because they know they cannot function themselves better than that child is doing at that particular point in time. So, as you said, you're feeling angry at the fact that they turn on you, and you're feeling pain, but at the same time, you're scared. Being scared is also a sign at least you're aware of the fact that they love you. And I'm sure it's one thing at least that has come across by the way they talk to you. I don't think another thing you might really like is their indifference when there's like total silence. They don't see you coming close, because you made reference to the fact that perhaps when you're gone, they may not notice. They will notice. If they talk to you that regularly, if you're not there, they are certain to notice when you're no longer there. They will be the first ones to call to find out, oh, what happened? I think what you should do is, if possible, find a time when they are not at each other's throats or at your own throats, and suggest a meeting where you guys can discuss everything clearly. Let them know how their personal fights are affecting you and how their attacks or the statement they make about your performance, whether it's in school or whatever it is that you're involved in, how their statements are not really helping you. And let them know, okay, whether you need assistance in any way. It might even be that the pressure of having to meet up to the expectation is part of why you are feeling or doing badly at school. It might also be that they are high achievers and their demands are quite higher than you feel you can accomplish right now, because you did not state your age or your class in this question when you asked. You didn't state any of this information. So I'm just assuming here, and I'm trusting that you know how to work this into the conversation. So let them know, bring them into the picture of what your current work load, your school work schedule is like now, the kind of classes you are taking, what your teachers are currently teaching you, where you're having any challenges understanding, and what you feel your parents can do to assist you and make it even better for you. But please remember something. Let there be open communication. That's the first thing. Open communication. Let everything be laid out on the table and let them know. And I've told you, choose a time when they are calm and be honest with them. Let them know that you love them, that you feel pained, you know that they care for you, but that you just want to have a home where there is peace. Because ideally, the home is that first place for peace, the first place for charity. It's a place where a child should return to after school or after being outside and feel like, okay, I'm where I can relax, and where I don't need to be under pressure or afraid of whatsoever will happen to me. Alright, so please don't run out of your home, don't shut them down, choose a good time, communicate with them, and one thing is certain, you guys will come to a resolution. Do well to keep us informed of the ongoing progress when this happens. Alright, we are going to go for a quick break right now, and when we return, we will continue. The number to send in more of your questions, your comments, your opinions is +234 813 929 2708, or send an email to teensreality@lifechangescoach.org. We'll be back shortly. Hello, I want to welcome each and every of you to the maiden edition of Teens Reality TV Show. I am your host, Pastor Udo. Our vision is to create a new brand of teenagers who can get to understand who they are, who they were created to be by God, and helping them navigate this life easily by His help. It is so important. Alright, welcome back from that quick break. We'll continue looking at other questions now. He says, any tips on how to get through to my brother that thinks the best way to teach his teenage child is to have one-sided lectures and or arguments? The last time I tried to talk to him, he ended up yelling at me, which at least distracted him from my niece, but certainly wasn't a productive conversation. Wow. Okay, I like the fact that yes, you are seeing what your brother is not seeing in how he's raising his daughter. I'll tell you now, if he's someone who doesn't like to be corrected openly, perhaps where his daughter is, I would suggest you meet him in private and then express your concerns. He doesn't want to raise his daughter to the point where she becomes totally afraid of him and is going to be out of that house the first chance he gets without ever coming back home for any of the visits or holidays that she might be opportune to have in the future. So if he doesn't want to lose her, that's what I'll tell you to give as your first suggestion as a tip to him. He needs to be patient. She's a girl. Whether she's made mistakes or whether she's been difficult sometimes, he should remember that he is the parent. And as a parent, he must be understanding. While he does have the right as a parent to exert certain rights and control, in certain rules and certain different tasks and responsibilities assigned to her, he should also remember that at this particular age, there are certain kinds of responses you will get, not always favorable, and that not every response means you must react to it with a fight. Just like I said, he ended up yelling at you. I'm not certain that yelling is quite productive for either of you. So you let him know that if he wants to build a relationship with his daughter, when she's even grown, when she's married, and let her be someone that, okay, she's not willing to come back to dad, he should soft pedal right now, back pedal, and think to pay more attention listening, and no longer just carrying on one-sided lectures or arguments. He should actually start listening to what she's saying. He might listen and actually hear her saying something that he has been missing out for a long time and has been part of what was aggravating him, thinking that maybe she didn't know what to do or doesn't understand where he's coming from. But now when he takes out time to listen to his daughter, he'll realize that there's no need for two of them to be enemies or to be at loggerheads all the time. So talk to him. They should be patient, have a sit-down time together and discuss. And tell him that his daughter is not just one they should talk down to or talk to. She's always one that should be listened to. That's why his communication is a two-way thing. If possible, if you have parents, and friends that are also parents who have had this work for them, you can use it as examples to buttress your fact and let him know why he should apply the same to his own daughter. All right, thank you. So I think that has answered the question generally. Next, we'll look at another question. It says, as I've been growing as a teen, I see myself distancing myself from my parents. I feel like I can't talk to them about my problems and they don't understand me. I love gaming and talking with friends online. My parents think it's BS. Playing games is an amazing pastime for me and makes me feel happy. But they always say, go outside or get off that laptop. I understand that taking time away from technology is good, and I've been making sure that I take the dog for walks during the day, walk into friends' houses and on weekends and such, but I feel as though they only see the bad side of the internet rather than the side I enjoy. Wow, that's a lot. I like the fact that you understand the place where your parents are coming from, and they're also trying to do your part by responding and taking those walks and the visits. If you want them to actually see the good side, you need to bring it into their view. If you plan out a a movie night and let the movie be based on the benefits of games and stuff. I don't know if there's any movie like that you can play. You understand? I recommend you guys watch it together, and they are made to see the fact that while movies does have a bad side, if people become over dependent on them or spend too long a time on them, that they're actually good sides. And if you can also assure me and assure them, assure us that it is not affecting your studies also, or affecting any other thing that you've been doing recently, it will also be a good bonus to you. So if they don't understand you right now, don't be upset. Try to bring them to the place of understanding. Remember, they're at an earlier generation from you. They're not always going to see things from your perspective. But people not seeing things from your perspective doesn't mean that they are generally against you. It just means that they have not come to understand where you're seeing from, where you're thinking from, or where you're reasoning from. You now have the right, the obligation, and the job to make them see what it is that you want them to see. You understand? Since you enjoy it and it's not having any adverse side effects on you, it is not limiting your work, either school work or any other thing you need to do around the home like chores, then I would advise you arrange a movie night or a time of discussion, a family night where you guys can discuss the issue in the open, hash it all out, and let them know. In fact, you might even teach them a game or two. It might be that they don't know. I know there are a lot of parents you might think they might not be interested right now in using the laptop to play games or such, but when you even teach them how to use it, they might end up even being better than you at it. So I'll suggest that bring them into your world and let them see it from that perspective. But don't do it in a harsh way. You understand? Do it in a manner like, okay, Dad, I care about you, care about me. I want us to understand each other clearly. I hope and I trust that has been able to answer your question. We'll move on now to the final question before we wrap up this episode. It says, my parents and I have a pretty good relationship. I love them and they love me. But sometimes they are too overprotective and stubborn. They don't listen to me and what I want, instead thinking that they know what is best for me. I also don't ever tell them anything. It's like I physically can't. I have trust issues with them, but I'm not sure why. I'm not good at communicating with them, and most of the time I don't want to because I know they probably won't listen to me. I don't know what I should do to fix this. Wow, that's a lot. That's a lot. You started out with the fact that you know that they love you. I'm not certain what they must have done first of all before we get to this point about the fact that they are kind of controlling and stuff that made you unwilling to share deep matters or issues with them, trust them with sensitive issues that concern you. You get? If they are too overprotective, I want you to find out, is it possible that they have lost a loved one or they've had to deal with something that makes them even more protective of you than seems normal when you compare it perhaps to your other friends or relatives? And when you say they are stubborn in what way? Stubborn in that, because when you say what you want, I don't know what you want. Now you're the one telling us what. This is your own side of the view, like your own question. Now, could it be that what you want is something that they know is not good for you at that particular point in time, and that maybe when they allowed you to take what you wanted before, it ended up badly, and now they're preferring to be cautious by telling you outright no's instead of just agreeing with you and allowing you have a way? Could it be possible? Because you might not remember right now, but if you take out time to cast your mind back, it may come back to you that something happened that brought them to this point, and that at the same time now perhaps broke your trust and made you think you could no longer relate freely with them. Anything that causes a breakdown in trust and communication is something that needs to be addressed and dealt with as soon as possible. I will not encourage you to allow this situation continue without dealing with it immediately. So, if, as you say, they are no longer listening to you, you also need to now bring this to their attention. Could it be that what you've been saying is something that you said over and over again they've addressed, you're not willing to hear what they have to say, and now you are still repeating it, or you've been saying it and they have not heard it in the way you want them to hear it. It could be any of this. So you need to be certain. Schedule a time to discuss this with them and be open and let them know. It's not because I don't always want to tell you what is happening in my life or what's going on with me. But this is just what it is. This is what I'm going through. This is what I'm feeling. This is what I'm experiencing. And I would really like us to deal with the issue so it doesn't continue this way. From what you are saying, I'm sensing that you want to really talk to them about these issues, because your statement, like, it feels like you can't. It's like I physically can't. Not that I won't or I don't want to. Your use of the word can't sounds from a point of like, if I could, I would. But right now, something is holding me back. So my suggestion is to look for what will enable or help you get over that limitation that has cropped up, you understand, and then deal with it actively and see what best can be done to address it. The most important thing is this: be patient, be open-minded, don't be angry, don't get upset. Since you've mentioned the fact that they're already stubborn, don't expect everything to go smoothly for you immediately. There might be some rebuffs and stuff, but keep at it. Remember, there's a desired result you want to see. And something our pastor always tells us: refuse to take no for an answer. Since it's something you want to see change, build a better relationship, and let the fact that you both love each other, you understand, to prevail above those misconceptions or misunderstandings. I urge you to be patient and persistent until it all works out through effective communication and understanding. All right, thank you so much for listening today. We've addressed a lot of questions. In fact, I'm certain that some of you listening to these questions have more questions that have turned up in your heads or have brought to light some other issues you're dealing with that you now want to discuss with us. Feel free to reach out to us using the number +234 813 9292708 or send an email to teensreality@lifechangerstouch.org. One thing is certain: your opinions and your comments, we're going to address each and every one of them. I want to let you know that we are here for the ride as you undergo your teenage journey to becoming who God has created you to be. Stay tuned and ensure that you do not miss out on our next episode. Remember to subscribe, like, and follow us on YouTube. The channel is Life Changers Touch TV. Share, invite every one of your friends, and let them know that, wow, there are a lot of great shows that can make you think more, become better, and be inspired the way God wants you to be. Thank you so much. I remain your lovely host, Pastor Oduwobi. Hello, I want to welcome each and every one of you to the maiden edition of Teens Reality TV show. I am your host, Pastor Udo. Our vision is to create a new brand of teenagers who can get to understand who they are, who they were created to be by God, and helping them navigate this life easily by His help. It is so important